Hello my friends, this is Getty with Georgia Firing Line, and this is my good friend James from the Complete Combatant, and we're here today to look at some advanced warm-ups for you shooters when you come to the range. You're probably wondering what the dingus on my forehead is. Well, that's a camera, and we're going to be using this to try to give you a better perspective of what's happening behind the gun. So I'm going to introduce James a little bit. Him and I go way back. We started with Fusion MMA, and he now has another job, and we do a lot of shooting together. And whenever we have a chance to shoot, we always have a good time. So we wanted to look at some ways to make your warm-ups more effective to get you ready to perform. And then we're going to do a little bit of testing, and we're going to see how well the warm-ups hold up. So what do you got planned first?
So the warm-up that I'm going with, full disclaimer, is not mine. I stole this from Kyle Lamb, and I've kind of modified it a little bit. So for me, I like to shoot fast, so I kind of neglect accuracy mode. And this warm-up forces me to go into accuracy mode. So basically, what it is from whatever yard line you designate, it doesn't really matter, but you're gonna start out with 5 rounds, slow fire, no time limit, both hands, as accurately as you can be. Then you're gonna transition, do 5 rounds, again, no time limit, strong hand only, as accurate as you can be. Finally, you're gonna go support hand only, no time limit, as accurate as you can be. Once you've done all those, you're gonna go back to both hands and you're gonna put a little time limit on it. So if we're doing 5 rounds, we're gonna do about 5-second time limit. From there, once you've done that, we're gonna go to the last stage, which is another 5 rounds, both hands. This time the time limit's a little bit, I wouldn't call it spicy, but you're gonna have to push a little bit. We'll call it, what, 2.5 seconds? 5 rounds, 2.5 seconds. And that is, so that's the warm up that I've been using recently, and I've seen kind of some benefits in it with my own shooting.
Cool. All right, let's do it. All right, the targets are hung. We know what we're doing. Now it's time for me to put Locked-In Grip on my hands. Locked-In Grip's an alcohol-based chalk for the shooting sports. It is there to increase your connection to the gun and give you instant feedback to what your grips are doing, and I shoot with it every chance I get, and you should too. For the purposes of everything we're doing here today, I'm shooting a HK VP9 match. It's the 5.5-inch model with a Taylor Freelance brass magwell and brass backstrap and a Holosun 507 competition, and I'm drawing from a Tier 1 MSP holster. So in order to hold ourselves a little bit more accountable, we just drew some marks on the target here. So up first, we're going to draw and fire 5 rounds, no time limit, slow fire at this black dot. This gives you a point of visual reference, so your vision should return to the same place every time. Let's get started. Now this is the part where I beat my trigger like it owes me money. Mm-hmm. All right, we good, eyes and ears?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. You know, you said no time limit, but I still said, I gotta go. So let's take a look. So I called my third being off to the left. All the other ones I'm very happy with, and the 3 right here I'm very happy with because they're in or touching the dot. The thing that made me lose here, I lost a little bit of attention. So I made a joke about it, right? There's no time limit, but I still, in my internal clock, it's saying, hey, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. So putting the brakes on mentally, letting my vision steer the gun, and just shooting and just kind of relaxing is something I need to be working on. So what's next?
So up next now, it's no time limit, no time limit, strong hand only, 5 rounds.
From the draw or just compression?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So 5 rounds, strong hand only. Yep. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. See, it's funny, when I have somebody to remind me, kind of smack me in the back of the head, then I do better. So 5 rounds, strong hand only, 7 yards. I'm pretty happy. I saw the dot rise and fall. The first one had a significant different recoil pattern, and normally the first shot's going to, but even from the strong hand, you can use the pinky to kind of bring the gun back down. So, and now it's weak hand. Got it. Pro tip for anybody practicing support hand only shooting, if it doesn't require a draw or anything like that, you can take your time transferring the gun. I'm going to show you how I do it. This is not the way, this is the way that I do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the gun with my primary hand. I'm going to open up my support hand to receive the gun. My finger is going to land off the trigger first. As I pass the grips around, my thumb slides around the back, and now I can secure the gun with my support hand. This works both ways. So if I need to pass the gun back over, I open the hand up, trigger finger lands first, slide the thumb behind, transfer the gun over, and nothing's going anywhere near the trigger guard, and I can practice this at home for free. So support hand only, 5. All right. I know what I need to work on. So support hand's difficult because it feels foreign because we don't get to do it very much. So it took the first 3 rounds for me to wake up and really pay attention to what's happening and what I'm feeling. So my first one, super high. I saw the dot rise as I was pressing on the trigger, but I was already committed to it, so I said, hey, let's do it. And then as the gun kind of settled and I was able to fire consecutive shots, it started calming down a little bit once I was reminded mentally that this is not foreign, we do it all the time. So that's fun. So next is the...
So now we've got a slight time limit. You go back to both hands and 5 rounds in 5 seconds. All right, shooter ready?
Up.
Stand by. Plenty of time.
Just in time. So again, I'm happy with the result. I think I did okay. The dot was kind of dwelling and living all around the circle. Being honest, I saw this one impact low, but the rest of them were clean, just carving out a chunk of cardboard. So was that the final stage?
Nope, final stage is 5 rounds in 2.5 seconds. Shooter ready, stand by. It didn't do the part time, but you got it in exactly 2.5 seconds.
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried. I was like, there's no way that's 2.5. All right, so on this one, I called a little bit of left to right motion. I kind of walked it in. So the first shot would have been left, according to my dot. And then as it walked in, it was just bouncing, living in here. So I was able to find a pretty comfortable pace, and I was just letting the dot live and rise and fall. So that's a solid warm-up. Yeah, I like that. I feel like I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I've been throwing that in a lot recently, and it forces me to pay attention to what my dot's doing more than when I just go out there with no warm-up. So I've seen benefits in my own shooting with it.
I love it.
I have a nice, lovely stock Glock 17 with an SRO. Yeah. So I got a nice Glock 17 SRO. I run these +5 mag extensions for training. If I'm actually carrying this though for like a like duty weapon or personal, I don't run these. I've seen too many issues with feeding problems. So training, I run these all the time, just less reloads. But as far as carry gun all the time, I don't run the magazine extensions with them. And then I've just got a Safariland level 2, ALS holster. All right, so first stage. No time limit, right? No time limit, 5 rounds. All right, here we go. Oh boy, slow down. Pass. This is why I do this warm-up though.
No time limit.
Yeah.
So check hits.
So this is why I like this warm-up a lot, because just like Getty did, I've already imposed a time limit on myself, even though we said no time limit, and I can see the dot coming off the target as I'm going, and I just, for whatever reason, I say, screw it, I'm gonna shoot it anyways. But this forces me into accuracy mode. It's my biggest issue when it comes to shooting. So this is why I've started liking this, I've started using this warm up. 5 rounds, strong hand only.
You're a little far back, take one step.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
No time limit. All right, so 5 rounds, strong hand only, no time limit. Right, Getty?
Yep, no time limit.
All right. All right, so started paying a lot more attention, and my grip with one hand is much tighter. So these are my 5 rounds right in here. Strong hand only from 7 yards, I'll take that, I'm very happy with that. It's weird what happens when you focus.
I got nothing, bro, that's clean.
Yeah, when you focus, that's, funny things happen. All right, third one, support hand only, no time limit. So for me, I like to go ahead and draw out, just getting that rep of the draw. And then I transition over to my support hand, just like Getty explained. So I get my trigger finger out of the way, transition it over to my support hand, and then I'm clear with it. Saw that one, yep. And there's where it came in. So I tried to rush that last shot and really snatched the gun down.
And for anybody who's watching, you can see the behavior in the gun before the shot goes off. So
it's doing okay. These I still, support hand, I neglect my support hand shooting, as a lot of shooters do, and I could feel as I'm pulling the trigger, I'm pushing off the dot as I'm compressing the trigger. And this one, I just snatched it. I got impatient with the target and just fired around, and that's what happens.
So just a note of observation, I think that as you were shooting, one of your shots that was a little wide to the right, I think it may have like mentally rattled you a little bit, because I saw the gun, there was a pre-ignition flinch, right?
Yes.
But then you recovered from it and then you beat it hard. So I think this is surely just a lack of prep. I think that's all it was. But that's okay, that's why it's a warm up.
All right, moving on to the slight part time, so 5 seconds.
Shooter ready? Stand by.
That was way quicker than...
So total time on that one was a 277.
Yeah.
A 277. And we were 96 on the first, and you're running about 45, 44 splits. So half-second splits. But the thing is, like, the speed that James is comfortable shooting at, because I've seen this guy do some pretty spicy splits. The thing with him is you're very much like me in the sense of when we're allowed to go quickly, it's like it's calming almost.
Yeah.
So when you have to throttle yourself down, now granted, like we're shooting at an almost sub 1 inch dot. So I'm not really concerned for the sake of a warm up at shooting the black dot. It's just a visual reference point. Yep. So even then, if we give you, just hypothetically, if we gave you the whole alpha, be totally happy with that.
Yeah.
Plus those 40s would turn into 20s.
Right, so what I see a lot with this drill is there's a pace of shooting that's artificial to me, and that's that slow fire, and I see my performance drop when I try to slow myself down with that pace, which is why this is a good warm-up for me, because it forces me to pay attention throughout the entire firing process, not just when I enjoy it.
Yep. So now it's the 2.5 second split.
Which is basically what I just did.
Yeah, so just do it again. Okay, so now we're gonna present in fire 5 with a 2.5 second par time. Shooter ready. Stand by. Yep, and a 2.47. And a 2.47.
So I had one come up high, I just didn't let the dot settle down far enough, and that's this round right here. All the others are right in here. But that was one, I think it was my 4th shot.
Cool. So one cool thing about this, and this wasn't mentioned by either one of us, but we both executed this, is shot calling in motion. So we're calling shots even though we're shooting at speed, and even on that 2.5 second, which is fairly spicy, being able to call at that pace is a very hard thing to do. So for anybody who tries this at home, make sure that you're actively shot calling and hold yourself accountable. When you walk up here, if you see something that doesn't match your shot call, you should be able to call it out. Because what that's doing is that's pointing out a momentary gap where you're not paying attention. And in a practice setting or in a match or something like that, it's gonna hurt your performance. But when we talk about the practical application of shot calling, that's a tragedy. That's something really bad. So that's a great warm up, dude. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, it's tough. It pushes me to do stuff that I don't like to do, which if you're trying to get better at shooting, you need to be doing stuff you don't like to do. I could sit here and shoot half second, quarter second, 1/6 splits all day. That's honestly not going to do much for my performance because I'm comfortable doing that.
Well, so that's the first part of this 2-part series. So up next, we're going to shoot my warm-up drill, and then we'll do the same thing we did here. We'll break it down, analyze it, and tell us what you can get out of it. And if you'd like to improve your shooting, get involved in our training program, you can find everything you need on our website, which is found in the About section, in our links and all that good stuff. Hope to see you guys in class very soon. This is James. My name is Getty. Be safe.